floor is yours.
Tell you guys, don't be shy.
What's gonna happen?
That's
a general
you
question.
brought me down here out of the bed to ask me what's
No,
going
okay,
on.
I'll take it.
I know I've been boxing too damn long, and nobody has any questions to ask me because I got 2 decades and a quarter in, and you're gonna ask me, so what's happening?
No, you know if I
Now,
ask you questions,
by right, from that response, that sets the tone, like in anything else, like in the ring. It sets the tone. The tone has been set by you and say what you said. I'm not angry about it, just show you how ridiculous it is. But we should all, I think, should understand this. If it's nothing else need to be asked about Bernard Hopkins, then don't do press conferences like this and don't do sit-downs when you know that, look, we know the book on this guy. We can't predict what's going to happen until it happens. So other than that, what do you ask a guy for 2 decades and 4 years, since 1988, if my math is right, because I'm not a math genius, but I'm not stupid, that I should just get right up, say enjoy the fight, and go sit and rest until 4 o'clock when I go take a light shakeout, without being crucified later on in the media that I'm an asshole, I got an attitude, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. No, it's not that. You set the tone. And that is the tone that's need to be set, because that's what this is about. Nothing. No disrespect to Bernard Fernandez, no disrespect to Golden Boy, no disrespect to whoever here to give me the time to even speak, but it's really what to talk about. Everything's been said on the other side. I'm not going to go and get into a cat and dog fight. I'm the dog. I'm not going to get into that. I got too much time in. I got too much time in the game. My resume and my track record is on paper. It's in the historic books. I don't know if anybody else on the other side can say that they had the same credentials that I have, but I know what I have. So I don't think we should be in here no more than 25, no less than 30 minutes. I will walk out of here. I got my guy Sharif and I got Malik. We already talked about it. I'm a planner. I'm very calculated in everything I do. I'm out of here in a half hour, y'all. So I'm gonna cut it there and let y'all get your questions in. But I'm not pleading. I'm just saying out of respect. If you don't have anything to ask me other than what his first statement was, and you can repeat that statement so you can set the tone again. What did you? Can you repeat what you said? No. Can you repeat what you said so they can hear you?
I asked what was going to happen. That was. Okay.
Now we can start the press conference. The clock is ticking for a half hour. You know, I gave him a free 5 minutes.
Okay.
Start. Watch the clock. A half hour. I'm out.
Two similarities to big fights in your career. You've been in Atlantic City twice, Tarver, Kelly, Pavlik, and then also the fight where we talked about in the conference call, Robert Allen, where he got, out of the ring, came back, and knocked him out in the 7th round. Those are 2 fights that I think, have relevance to this particular fight. Atlantic City, Kelly Pavlik, Antonio Tarver, and then the Southpaw, Robert Allen, and what happened in those 2 fights. Can you discuss that?
You forgot Antoine Nichols.
Well, Antoine Nichols was in Vegas.
But that.
Okay.
That was then, this is now. Two reasons why that was then and this is now. It's about a 6+ years apart. I am 47 years old now. And back then, even though they've been calling me old since I beat Trinidad when I was 35 years old, boy, that's so long ago, 10, 11 years ago. To me, that has no merit on what I'm going to do this Saturday. Because some would say, even though I was in my 40s then or late 30s, I was still considered young if you compare that to now. So I want to to make it clear, to make it real clear to people to understand that we can go back to the motivation, we can go back to what you have done in Atlantic City, like it's some kind of home court advantage or some kind of tone that you set through big fights that you had to deliver or whatever the case might be. Look, it has a reason to be questioned, it has a reason to get a response, but I believe that whatever I did in the past, when it became sort of like a rematch or a rival or some kind of a thing where I overcame what happened the first time, it's just a situation where you know that you have to set the record straight the second time around. 3 has always been a number that's not good. It's 3 strikes you're out. It's in baseball. It's in the criminal justice system. 3 is not a positive number. It never was and it never will be. That's why it's 3. It's uneven. And so if you're lucky and if you're smart enough and you understand those numbers, you would do your job the second time around, because the third time is normally a strike. And so I always lived by that code. And that's why I never went back to where I came from for 24 years, and that's the 3-strike rule when you get basically 30 years in the penitentiary. So I use those 3s into my personal and professional life. Is that for whatever the reason that you didn't do it the first time, his fault, my fault, didn't win, didn't lose, whatever the case, controversy, whatever, the second time is the charm, not the third that's been set through the stages of life. That was me. I have my own rules, the way I do things.
Bernard, for the last fight, the Ripley's people were involved. So when Gary Shaw was in here a little while ago with Chad, he said, there was no press tour, they didn't have a regular press conference, they had these round tables. He said, it is absolutely positively because Bernard does not even want to look Chad in the eye. He knows he's going to get his butt kicked. He's afraid of him. That's why he doesn't want to be around him in the same room, believe it or not. This is a new tack.
That's his. I heard that before from other people. I heard that from Robert Allen. I heard that from Antoine Echols. I heard that from Gene Pascal. Matter of fact, he said I was on something. I mean, sticks and stones might break my bones, but names will always motivate me. So if I don't want to be there and I'm afraid to be in his presence, then I can remember being told that I wouldn't show up for the fight this Saturday when the camp first started. Well, we got less than 48 hours, 70-something hours, or at least less than 24 hours for the weigh-in. So while he's waiting for me not to show up, I hope he don't have that same mentality when he get in the ring, because the better he would try to be, I would be 10 times more than that. So I can't fight Gary Shaw comments and concentrate on my job, because if Gary Shaw wants to say what he wants to say because he believes that, then fine. But if the fighter says that and he believes that, then fine. So we understand that he has an agenda, he has Chad Dawson, and he's supposed to say these things. And after it's all said and done, he has to bear witness to what he see and what he witnessed. He's witnessed it before. I just never went against him before. But Gary Shaw knows Bernard Hopkins from the Larry Hazzard Atlantic City days. He understands what I'm capable of. And as long as that's in his head, he can wish for whatever good come to him. But I believe that my job will be done after Saturday.
I posed a hypothetical to Chad Dawson. I said, if you were fighting whomever, be it Bernard Hopkins or another opponent, and you had landed on your shoulder and dislocated it in the second round of a 12-round fight and had 10 and a half rounds to go, would you attempt to fight on, or would or would you accept a no contest? And he didn't say, you know, that he would do it or anything like that, but basically, you know what they've accused you of trying to look for a way out, but yet he didn't say that he would have tried to fight on for another 10 rounds with a bad shoulder. What does that tell you?
That tells me he's smart. That if you have to do something based on someone else curating a foul, I mean, you know, I watched the basketball game the other night and I seen a guy get clearly elbowed across his head. You're telling me that the guy supposed to got up and brushed his pants off and ran down the court like it was no thing. It's a straight out foul. It's a straight out intention to do something when a person's not expecting it, and that's, to me, that's not what you call sport. So you have a situation where, are you asking me to do what I've already proven I've done? Antoine Edwards got up with a dislocated shoulder. As Larry Merchant said, Bernard got up. He shouldn't have got up. He should just go ahead. He win the fight, but he know if he don't get up, the system is going to screw him. Listen to the audio. It's at the Venetian in Atlanta, in Vegas. Robert Allen, Mills Lane separators. Because Mills Lane is, at that time, was short, but he was a strong guy, and he separated us, and he didn't expect that, and I didn't expect that, and you know what happened. I've proven who I am. Matter of fact, went to Canada, proved who I am. The reason that I'm in this position because Chad Dawson didn't do his job with Pascal. I think I answered that what you asked me, Bernard, but that leads into one thing I want to say without giving really a long speech. After Saturday, not because I won't win, not because I won't deliver, but after Saturday, it's just a great chance it might be my last fight, not because what Gary Shaw thinks, or what anybody else thinks, or the odd makers thinks. I was the underdog with Tarver, I was the underdog with Pavlik. I am not the biggest underdog as I am in this fight, but I wish I was, because a lot of my guys wants to make money. But I remembered after that fight that y'all didn't see me in 16 months. No injury. Not that I wasn't ready to fight. Not that I wasn't trying to make a fight. The system I've been fighting, I'm going to fight until I lead a game on the physical side. The business side is a whole new different fight. That at 47, when I spanked the guy that they want to now get something out of, because the other two guys I destroyed and they couldn't get the years from them. That's Jermaine Teller, that's Kelly Pavlik, and a few other guys that was contenders who never got the chance to even show that they could be champion because they've been ruined physically and mentally, more of mentally and spiritually. So when this performance come down tonight, they're gonna say, yo, we can't erase him off this world because we ain't in that time that of eras in the world. The 20s and the 30s, I might have a problem. Even in the 60s, I'd had a problem. So what we do, we put him on ice. Being on ice at 47, going on 48, and then 49. If you put me on ice after I beat this dude Saturday, you say 16 months after the Patrick fight, what happened? You're talking about a guy that probably could have been fighter candidate of the year. You're talking about a guy that should have had everything open after the Pavlik fight, the great white hope coming from Youngstown, Ohio. But then you've seen a 16-month span. So what I'm doing is going on record right now saying that since we happen to be in the same place, Atlantic City, where I had most of the media, if not all of them, with their mouth turned, and a lot of them were so embarrassed they gave me their side view. As I looked from the top of the ring with no emotions of speaking, only with body language. And some was so embarrassed. And I get one guy that I can remember who I looked across and he was standing up and he apologized to me. And y'all can ask him. Y'all heard colleagues. His name is Tim Smith. And I respected him ever since, even more. Because he had enough balls, enough guts to say, Bernard, you know what? I hopped on everybody else's bandwagon. Maybe because some don't like me, don't like me, want to see me get my brains beat out like the lady told Ali ringside. And they may be in their 40s and they just got diagnosed because they ain't take care of themselves. They got less than 20 months or whatever to live and they done. And so they envy and jealous because my gut ain't out and theirs is. And they're 10 years younger and 15 years younger. How do I do it? And they can't and they didn't because they didn't invest in themselves. The reason I have money in my bank because I did good investments, safe investments, so I can go back when I want to. Because you didn't do that. Now you're mad at me because you don't have anything and I have. That's your problem. So there's jealousy, there's envy, there is a whole bunch of things that human people carry around them. It's a disease. I don't even think most of them even know it. But as long as I recognize it, I'm blessed, and it makes me sleep, and it makes me in a position where it don't become cancer to me, where it eats away at me, because it's been my biggest motivation. My biggest motivation has always been adversity. If things are too good, I'm suspicious. If things too good, I'm worried. If things don't happen the way it's supposed to happen, that's something I'm not used to. It's like taking a kid that's been living in one environment and all of a sudden you put them in Beverly Hills and say this is your new home. That's the same way I feel when I'm not the underdog. And so I'm at my comfort zone, not because I'm in Atlantic City, not because, trust me, it's not because I'm here. He's in Connecticut, that's only around the corner. I understand when I fight, it's not just Chad Dawson that I'm fighting. Gary Shaw said it himself, quote, I have a lot of friends and a lot of people in New Jersey. Now, why was it important for him to announce, not the fight, but how cozy his relationship is here in Jersey? And I corrected him. I remember you. You had the same fat stomach. He was the same guy sitting there with Larry Hazzard as the watchdog of Larry Hazzard, the commissioner. And you're seeing how wide open this unvirgin boxing business is, and you wanted your piece of pie. A lot of people come in this game with the good intentions, I think, clean. But when they see that it ain't a virgin and it's wide open, they're going to stick their thing in it. They become part of that group. It's a very, 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 very hard tug of war amongst being a straight up, no matter how enticing it is, and don't indulge in it. I don't drink, I don't smoke, but I can be around y'all can drink, smoke, and I'm getting up. That's discipline. It's not just in my athletic ability, it's in my life. It's in everything that I do from A to Z, from the smallest thing to the biggest thing. From A to Z. It's very hard to beat a guy like that. The only thing that get a guy like that, to me, is when the time run out, when they bury him. Or even her.
Speaking of that, I remember